Hey everybody, I'm on my way to a record show. It's a Sunday, and every now and then, every couple of months, they have this local show. Sometimes I find a lot of good stuff, sometimes not much. We'll see how we do today as I stop off to get a little breakfast first before digging into those crates. And actually, I'm listening to a free 2-week run of the Sirius XM satellite radio offer. You know, I don't usually get it myself. I don't think it's really worth the money. But I take advantage of it when it's free.
All right, this is it. I'm looking for
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering if anybody be interested in buying my whole collection.
You know who might be? There's a guy in the corner. His name is Chris.
Customers, don't forget to fill out that little white slip we gave you at the door. It's good for $25 today at the show if you win the door prize. It's actually good for today or the next show here in New York. I thought the slip drop in the box. You don't have to win.
I'm on it for being ugly.
For ugly, what?
For being ugly, yeah. It's a fence in Wyoming to be ugly.
Right. And you won.
You know anybody from Wyoming who's ugly? I sure as hell don't.
Europe. Everybody saw one in Germany.
Yeah. Wow. When did you record that? When did you do it?
Oh.
Like years
Oh.
ago?
No, about 20 years ago.
Oh, when he was touring or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. One of them, they got one on the Dylan compilation. Tribute to Hank Williams. One of them, they were full recording.
So you gotta work that out. I mean, if it's a money thing, then you work it out.
Yeah.
Where the heck is that?
Give the lady 30 grand and her copyright. That was a little flick, though, yeah.
And I'm trying to make like super.
Hold that against me, are you?
What I do?
Typically, that's a unauthorized LP.
Oh no, don't worry.
Okay.
It's authorized. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Well, as it turns out, it was a really good record show. I got a lot of good records, I think. And after the show was over, I went right around to my record store, which is kind of close by, and I was able then to find other stuff. So this is going to be an interesting video. You might want to skip ahead to parts you like, watch in different increments if you like, or just watch all the way through. Anyway, first item I'm going to show is an original first press, I believe, copy of the German version of their first album, Please Please Me album, on Horzu. And if you watched some of my videos a while back, you will remember that I bought a copy of this, not a first pressing, it was a later pressing, and it was still sealed in the shrink, and I had no intention of opening it. And a lot of people said, oh, this is really a good mix, you want to play this, it's one of the best mixes out there. And now I'm able to do that because I've got a playing copy, and I got it for a pretty good price. I do have to put a little glue stick here, the top there just came off a little, but other than that, it's pretty good. It doesn't have an original inner sleeve, but the record itself is like new on the Horzu red and white box label. Really in nice shape. And so now everybody can be happy. Me and you, right? I got a copy here to play, and I got a copy to keep sealed. So that was good. Alright, here's a nice cover here. You got George Harrison, John Lennon, Paul McCartney when they're very young here. Everybody loves this picture. It's a good album cover. It's called That'll Be the Day, which basically has the songs that they covered in the early days by the original artists, the original versions by the original artists. It's mostly notable for the cover here. And you got some bits here where you get, I believe, some dialogue here. John talking about Chuck Berry, Paul talking about Buddy Holly. So you get a bunch of different stuff here. You're going to get the Shirelles, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Carl Perkins, The Miracles, Larry Williams, blah, 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 on, a little bit of everything. All the people who inspired the Beatles. Okay. Here is a primitive bootleg. This is called Not Guilty. And I don't know what it is about it that I wanted it. I've seen this around for some time. Maybe it's the red color and the picture here that I always liked of John in this, looks like suit of armor. I just always liked this, wanted to have it. It was cheap, so I got it. Oh, if we bother showing the label, that's the label. Poverty Records. And it says on there, Buddy Love sings about girls. Now I'm pretty sure that nevertheless it's still the Beatles. So I haven't played it yet, but a lot of times you get the wrong label on there. It's just suddenly making me wonder if I got gypped. I'm going to play that. Because I've had a lot of bootlegs in the past that have labels that have nothing to do with the Beatles on it. Some other artists, but it's the Beatles anyway. We're going to find out about that. This one here is an import, Paul McCartney from India, Flowers in the Dirt. And what's really cool about this is it has a track that it was not on the regular vinyl. It's only on CD, and I believe that's, I never could pronounce this, Ue es le Soleil. Ue es Soleil. Anyway. And interesting red label, kind of with his master's voice dog on it. From India, also a record that looks unplayed. I think a lot of these records have been put in people's collections over the years and never played, which I do also, depending on the record. Just, you know, you just have a certain import, and it's for collectability reasons, not so much for play. So that's why a lot of them are so in good condition. Now, got some Russian albums here, and from what I understand, these are 1992 versions. Here's Rubber Soul. Notice the lettering there. Back cover. All the names, titles of the songs are in Russian. Here's the label. There are a lot of these bootlegs making, I say bootlegs, I'm sorry about that, it's a slip. I don't know if they're bootlegs or not, I don't think they are, but there are a lot of these later copies of Russian albums by all kinds of artists. In fact, I have a Bob Dylan Russian album like that with that label on it, from the Slow Train Coming album from 1979 by Dylan. Okay, the next one, I should also mention that I got these for $10 each, so it was a steal. Since they were only $10 each, I bought two of these. You know, this is the Help album. Now, I'm sure there are people out there that might say, hey, can we trade or something, maybe down the line. Right now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because there were slight differences, I thought, in the labels of them. I mean, one was cleaner than the other. It's hard to tell, but it's interesting because it looks on this particular cover, you have the famous shots of the Beatles here, but their heads, they're not the right pictures for their heads. There's other images of their faces that have been put on top of those typical Help bodies. Alternate back cover. Titles. Here's the label, same as the Rubber Soul one that we saw, but I'm not really going to show the second copy of Help that I have here with the Russian one. It's kind of the same design as this, but there's not as much red in it. There's some red in it. The other one's, I think, all blue. Like there's white with just blue lettering, no red in any of it, if I remember correctly. It's just slightly different, although I think it's largely considered to be the same issue. It's not a different issue. But anyway, like I say, you know, these were $10 each, so I mean, hell, I would have paid $20-25 just for one, I think. So okay, we're back to really cheesy, old-fashioned mimeographed primitive bootlegs for this. It's studio sessions, the Beatles studio sessions. It's probably BBC. I got this because I like to collect just about everything, and I always like that cover. I always, you know, it's old. It's probably from the 70s, mid 70s, and you know, people had to write the song titles on, if you wanted, either you leave the label white, or you write in pen song titles for yourself on there. Okay, I bought one here that was cheap enough, the next one, and I don't know if it's one that I have. Again, that seems to be a recurring problem with age. You know, you don't know if you have everything like you used to know. And this is a double LP. It's called Rarer Than Rare. I might have picked this up again when I did a Princeton, New Jersey run a few months ago. I don't know. But it was cheap enough, and I wasn't sure if I had it. I could always sell it or trade it. If not, it's a double record set. All kinds of rarities on here. You know, you're buying mostly for the packaging. A lot of these, you have this stuff already in different forms so many times. It's just if you like the nice packaging. Okay. I also got another album at the record show. It's not Beatles. I'm going to save that for, if I remember to mention it in my vinyl finds of all kinds, the next one I do of that. When I went to the record store, ooh, there was a guy who came in and he wanted to sell some of these items to the record store, and the record store didn't want to buy them. So when the record store refused them, I decided to buy them. They were $5 each. There's a series of books here, and this one's called A Hard Day's Night, the album collection. This is volume 3. It's a Dutch writer, and his name is, I believe, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Azing Maker or Maker. I don't think it's Maker. Malt Maker. All of these were sealed. It's funny, it says this book will be released in a numbered limited edition of 5,000. And if that's true, this first book that I opened up has a number 10. I don't know how well that's showing up. Number 10 of 5,000 this book is. And there's just all kinds of album covers, anything dealing, I guess, with A Hard Day's Night, that period. Every one of these books has to do with a certain album, or I mean, some of the pictures are in black and white, and some are color. I don't know, this looked like it was signed. I opened it up, I took the cellophane off. Maybe they were all individually signed before they're bound. I don't know, before them. But yeah, this is number 10. This is volume 3 in the series. I'm not going to show these in any particular order. This is still sealed. It's Rubber Soul, volume 6 this is. I just wanted to open one just to see what we're dealing with. Here's volume 4, Beatles for Sale. We have volume 5, which is Help. And you can see on all of these, you know, see like the Help related alternate albums down the bottom. This is volume 10, the Beatles, I guess the White Album. And you know, you get the alternate kinds of covers on the bottom. I got Magical Mystery Tour, volume 9, and you can see on the bottom similar types of records from that period. The only one I have here that's not the Beatles as a group, and it's a solo Beatles one, is says The Making of Imagine, the Imagine album, and you can see alternate Imagine covers down there. Picture sleeves, covers. The train is right on time. Sorry folks, can't do anything about it. Sometimes I edit the train noise out, sometimes I say I don't give a shit and I leave it. I'm tired of editing it. Okay, also picked from this guy up. Wasn't sure about this. It's the Beatles with Tony Sheridan at the Star Club. The Beginnings in Hamburg, a documentary. It seems to be a documentary where you have interviews with a lot of the people, but who were there. It looked pretty good. And you get a lot of photos. Also comes with a booklet. It's got a booklet. And here in the pocket there are some photos. So we're going to take those photos out and investigate them. There's a little... They're postcards actually. And I can see we got this little strip on here. Pull that band off. Put Tony Sheridan there, I guess. Early Beatles snapshots. Like one of the clubs, district, Germany. There's a montage of photos. And this is a really nice, famous Beatles group shot. So this is really, really nice. Yeah, and I thought some of the people that seem to be interviewed on here would be interesting. Some of the people named on here, we have interviews with, I can't really read them all. I don't think that in interviews with Bert Camford, I don't know, there's 16 chapters, not all of them have people's names on them. They're not all about people, the places and events. But it seems to be a nice little documentary package there. Now, one other thing I picked up, it's a Frost on Saturday, David Frost, and the reason I got this version was because it had a John and Yoko, see the top there, John and Yoko interviewed, and I guess that's 1969, either 1969 or 68. So that covers that. Now, I wanted to save a little bit of a surprise for last here. It was a surprise to me, certainly. One of my friends here, you might say on the YouTube community, and also who I meet a lot off and on in my stores, is a friend named Elliot. And Elliot is always amazing in presenting me with gifts. And I mean, you know, I love getting gifts. Who doesn't? And he's provided me with a lot of good stuff, and it's just getting more and more intense. And I'm thrilled with what I got. I wish I could come up with something to give back. I'm sure I will at some point. You know, if there's something he needs, I'll be glad to reciprocate. A lot of people feel put off by that. You know, they think, wait, look, I'm just here to give a gift. I'm not looking for anything in return. But you just want to make sure people know you appreciate it. Start with, he gave me this, which is a display for the Beatles 1 CD, 27 number 1 singles on 1 CD. It's a display, and all I need now is the row of CDs to go in it. But you know, but I love stuff like this, and thanks, Elliot. I really appreciate it. I wish I could say more, but this really got me crazy. He had told me once about the Ringo Rotogravure album that was released in 1976, that originally he was trying to fill me in, and I think certain release places, countries, or maybe one place, I don't know if it was the UK or somewhere else, but supposedly they gave away these spy glasses, these little magnifying glasses. On the cover of the album, you see Ringo where he's holding up, you know, looking through one of these things. Let's see what we get here. I don't want to scare anybody, but what's so cool about this is it says here Ringo's Rotogravure, Atlantic Records, and I am just thrilled as hell with this. This excites me more than anything else, to tell you the truth, because it's such an oddity. I've never heard of this. I never even knew it existed. When he told me in this, the one other time when I ran into him in the store, I really was like, wow, sounds great, but I was a little skeptical. I never heard of it before, you know. Beautiful. Thank you, man. This is really fantastic. And that is the end of this particular video, and I really hope you guys had some fun with it, and tune in to the other installments that I have. Of course, if you like what you saw here, you know, be sure to subscribe and watch me, and I'll be watching you.